Stephen Correño, KO Artist Sports. We're here with Coach Moses. We were just talking off camera. You said you've been with, Shakur since he was a kid. When did you first realize Shakur was something special than maybe some of the other kids in the gym?
Well, actually, he had some real athletic ability, since he was like 2 years old. First time he sat up and started punching, so, everything else pretty much came with that athleticism. As he grew into his maturization and he just got better and better at everything that he done.
Man, that's I like hearing stories about these, because what was kind of the first amateur matchup in your mind that you were like, okay, this is a good test for him?
Well, when I think it was 2013, 2014, we were in Ukraine and we were in World Championships, and then the championship bout we fought against the defending champion from Ukraine, and he easily won that fight. And then I had a flashback experience, just seeing this little kid from infancy now, and him walking out of the ring, a world champion. Then he looked over at me and said, "Papa, you all right?" I said, "I'm all right." Yeah, I'm good.
Of course, yeah.
So that, I think that was the biggest reflection and the biggest thing that made me realize, the things he was going to embark on in his future.
Wow, that's a great story. It's a great story. Was that kind of his first big wow, I'm for him as well, do you think?
No.
Or did he have maybe another moment that he kind of was like, this is...
He had so many moments, man. I can't even remember them all. Another big moment when, we were in the ringside world championships, and he was there, and they announced that he was going to fight, and they shut down all the rings in the whole arena, came to watch him fight. So I think that was another thing that brought the awareness to my eyes about what he was going to embark on as well in his future. So I think him winning a lot of the world championships at a younger age really prepared him for what he's doing now. The level and the stage he's at now, especially after him being the only American male boxer to ever win the IEVA Boxer of the Year. That was a big historical thing. So he feels like right now, a lot of things is part of his legacy, and he just want to keep building on that legacy.
That's a great story. Just quickly, I don't know, were you there for the Gervonta Davis sparring when he sparred Gervonta? Were you there for that?
Let me tell you like this here. We sparred, look, Shakur was 13 years old, well, I'll say maybe about 12, and Gervonta was maybe about 14 or whatnot, but every time Shakur seen Tank, pop up, I want to spar Tank, let me spar Tank, pop up, since he was a kid, and me and Coach Calvin, we have history way back when they were both children, so they've been good. I was there all the time. Every time we got together. One time I wasn't with him when he was I think in Mayweather or somewhere, but any other time than that, I was there.
That's good. I mean, obviously at that age, there's not pros at all, but just from watching the sparring, were you just, I don't know, describe to me just kind of what maybe the feelings going through you, just what he was doing right, what he was doing wrong, maybe what you learned about Tank in that sparring.
Then, you got to realize back then they were both kids, so seeing two highly talented individuals, it was always going to be competitive, you know what I'm saying? So the competitive was there with them both of them. The thing that I like about Shakur was that at such an early age and able to box with those guys, man. So, that worked for me. I think, him being able to box with Tank and him at an early age gave him a lot of confidence, man, because, we all looked up to Tank. Tank is a little bit older, and we followed him. Like I said, me and Calvin go way back before they were almost when they were little babies. So, we've been around boxing. So, what we see now out of those two, we kind of really expected, because we know how they work. We know they were really dedicated, to their sport. So, watching his maturization and watching him grow now, it's really, the thing that we really hope for within the sport.
Was Tank known to have power back then, even at that age?
Well, they both had power back then. Tank had power, and like I said, they both went different ways, as far as the amateurs. One went further than the other, so, they both had two courses to go on their own, so I think, they're destined to meet one day, and it's down the line, and we'll see when that comes. Because right now, there are a whole lot of things I think both of them need to accomplish in their career before that. But the world may not know what they boxed off, and like I said, right now, I'm between me and Calvin. Right now, I believe Calvin knows just it's about them, and about their legacy and what they do in boxing. So when it comes to talking over that, I don't think neither one of us gonna let all the talk and rhetoric overshadow what they do and lose focus of what the thing that they want to accomplish.
Right. That's the fight, right? That's the fight to make at 135, especially now that Shakur's there.
And see, the thing is, both of them getting to that point. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. Because if both of them handle they, do the things that they should do, their legacy is gonna speak for itself.
With Shakur now, this is his second fight at 135. The schedule for 135. How do you see the weight, him filling into the weight? I feel like his body's going to keep growing even, but I mean, how do you see the weight filling in for him?
Well, if we really look at it, for every 2 years since Shakur's been boxing, the 2 to 2.5 years, he moves up in weight, and you look at him coming into pro, it's almost emulate that same thing. Every 2 years he moves up in weight. So I look at it now, it's more natural at the weight he walks around at. So he's more natural and he's stronger, you know what I mean? There's a bone hardening process that everybody don't grow up. And most athletic departments, like even USA by, they don't never put in the bone hardening process when these young athletes' bones start to harden and they start to gain weight naturally because their bone structure get harder and heavier, and they still make them cut weight down, really, destroying. But we would never do that. So that's according to what we believe in about that weight issue, and adjusting to the weight. We'll never be one that really keeps sucking down the weight just to try to make a weight class. We want to keep our body as strong as possible. So, the weight is no effect. I think he's actually closer to his natural weight now, walking around with the means going to attribute to him being much stronger.
How has Terrence improved Shakur, would you say?
Terrence improved Shakur. I think the volume that improved to Shakur is Shakur's competitive against him. It's like honestly when you going up the hill, you want to see yourself one day at the top of the hill. So it's been a growing process for Shakur. It's been him getting stronger, getting naturally stronger, and particularly more confident. You know what I'm saying? And he earns it because destiny is at his hands. So it's not he's never looked to be second fiddle with anybody. So it's always going to be competitive. With Terrence, it's competitive. It's competitive. And over the years, his competitive has gotten much better, much better. So right now, the war is kind of evening out. So,
right.
You expect that from somebody that really as dedicated to boxing as he does, and he is. That's 100%. He's studying. I can't stop him when he was a kid. I didn't know he was asleep unless he wasn't punching. I didn't hear him.
That's how you know. That's how you know he's the real deal, right?
And he's in the gym the same way now.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I truly appreciate your time, man. Great stuff. Thank you.